And now it's time for the day's Focus Report. In Rwanda, the Catholic Church has been losing worshippers to born-again and other evangelical churches. That's especially true since the end of the 1994 genocide, when an influx of exiles returned to the country from Uganda and the Democratic Republic of Congo. Our team on the ground takes a closer look at the changing religious fervor.
Sunday Mass, with a magnetic draw akin to a rock concert. Religious chants, shouting and tears, frenetic preaching. In Rwanda, born-again churches are bursting at the seams. Evangelical churches, Zion Temple, Pentecostal, all are gaining influence.
There was Catholic before, but when the churches came with power of healing, miracles, manifestation of the Holy Spirit, so that's why people are following the Pentecostal churches instead of Catholic.
Congregations are snowballing because the spiritual communication is exuberant and seductive.
The Protestant church that doesn't feel the Holy Spirit, but for us, we feel it. The Holy Spirit. The Holy Spirit can teach us.
But it wasn't always like this. These churches arrived here in the wake of the genocide, with the return of long-exiled Tutsi refugees from neighbouring countries. The churches have benefited from a fall in the prestige of the Catholic Church, damaged locally by its close relationship with the extremist Hutu regime before and during the genocide. Administered by white priests before decolonisation, Rwanda was one of the most Catholic churches on the continent. But between April and July 1994, numerous Catholic churches became massacre sites. Some priests even delivered their flocks into the hands of the killers. CHANTALE is a genocide survivor. She sometimes comes to meditate here, Nyamata Church, now a memorial. In April 1994, when the massacres began, she sought refuge in the church with other Tutsis. More than 5,000 were massacred. She was one of the few to escape. More than 20 years later, her resentment of the Catholic Church remains.
Before the genocide, I prayed in this Catholic church. I was baptized here. I took my communion here. But after they helped with the massacres in this church, without any pity, I decided that I would never come back to pray in a Catholic church. Yet I couldn't live without praying, so I became an Adventist.
But genocide survivors and former refugees represent only a minority of Rwanda's population. Others have been attracted to born-again churches and their ilk because they play on emotion.
What motivates people in these churches is the spontaneity of expression, the spontaneity of prayers. It also has something to do with a sense of communion, harmony, community. One must give honor where honor is due, and I think it's fair to say that these churches are bringing along many positive things. They're challenging us, the Catholic Church, in a positive way, but also other Protestant churches.
Today, Regina Pacis Church is full. Catholics here in Kigali celebrate the ordination of 2 new priests, proof that the Church's appeal endures for some here. Priests avoid directly criticising evangelical churches, but worry about some trends.
It is to be hoped that among all of our churches, including born-agains, but also traditional Protestants and the Catholics, that we all come closer together. We must maintain close contact to avoid situations where religion is distorted into something that is no longer religious, but rather opportunistic.
Compulsory donations set at 10% of born-again churchgoers' income are particularly controversial. Many pastors have become rich, with their churches functioning as profit-making enterprises. But the authorities aren't worried.
So for us, we are not threatened by the number. If church decides to join hands, that would be their choice. If they decided to become more and more, and some even breakaways, as long as the law is not affected, we are not affected by this decision.
There are no official statistics for the growth of this phenomenon, but for better or worse, there's no denying that these churches are on the up.